Okay guys, I don't know if this game would top Spider-Man on PS4, but my hope for this game is that I hope it's at least fun and entertainment at best. Let's find out. Avengers Assemble! Yo, what is up, my Cinedroids? G to the S here. Today, I'm gonna be reviewing Marvel's Avengers. 2020, that is. During an annual celebration mainly known as A-Day, Captain America, played by Schine is how you pronounce it? No matter, he also has Iron Man, played by Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series himself, my man Nolan North. The Hulk, played by Sam Drake from Uncharted 4 and The Lost Legacy, Troy Baker. Black Widow, played by both Nadine Ross from Uncharted and MJ from another Marvel video game property that everyone is currently raving about, Laura Bailey. And Thor, played by Wilson Fisk from the Spider-Man PS4 game, Travis Willingham. Pretty solid voice talent if I do say so myself. Anyways, they're unveiling a high-tech Avengers headquarters in San Francisco, including the reveal of their own helicarrier powered by an experimental energy source. The celebration turns deadly when a catastrophic accident results in massive devastation. Blamed for the tragedy, the Avengers disbanded. 5 years later, with all superheroes outlawed and the world in peril, the only hope is for one particular fangirl named Kamala Khan, played wonderfully by Sandra Saad, to reassemble the Earth's mightiest heroes and defeat the evil organization known as AIM, led by M.O.D.O.K. Surprisingly played by a Saab from Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, Usman Ally. Again, star-studded cast right there. But let's see if they can bring their energy to this game. In terms of the direction coaching from both Morgan W. Gray and the director of Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, Shaun Escayg, they sure did. Even though those actors can be seen as distracting, they still bring it in this game. The actors and actresses, both in mocap suits and behind the microphone, did a stellar job portraying the roles they were born to play. They were all perfect and very unrecognizable, but in a good way. Not once did I say to myself throughout the whole game, oh, that's just Nolan North playing Tony Stark. Or, oh, that's Troy Baker playing Bruce Banner, and they don't sound like those characters at all. To that I say, bite your tongue on that. They all sound great. Nolan North especially, as the beloved millionaire philanthropist himself. Now, yeah, granted, his voice does sound an awful lot like Nathan Drake. But honestly, even towards the beginning of the game, I didn't even know that that's Nolan North voicing him. He did amazing in this game. In terms of the game's character development, he had the funny quips, he had the best snarky one-liners in terms of dialogue, he did amazing as Tony Stark. Same with Troy Baker as Bruce Banner. He captured the characteristics of a paranoid scientist who's not only brilliant at what he does best, but since he had the power to turn into a giant green raging monster whenever he gets angry, he's fearful about not only his friend's safety, but also his own. And I gotta say, no spoilers, I promise, but there's a scene where both Tony and Bruce argue with each other, and since they're both voiced by Troy Baker and Nolan North, if you think about it, it does have that Uncharted 4 Thief's End vibe going on. But it's not to the point where the developers are trying to rehash that particular story plot point for this game. I won't give away too much, but in terms of execution, their argument does make sense to the story. Again, just play the game and you'll see what I'm talking about. But still, great job to both Shaun and Morgan for giving the characters their energy and charisma to the game's storyline. Keep up the amazing work. Speaking of story, it's also amazing in this game. Now, yeah, sure, some of you may find the story predictable, especially during the game's final climax, but it doesn't mean that it's not both entertaining to play and watch at the same time. There's a point in the game where, in terms of the game's use of dramatic and emotional moments, Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, not to be confused with Captain Marvel, although there was a funny bit in the game where she says that she doesn't want to basically copyright infringe the name, which I thought was really funny. But there's a point where she's struggling to do what's right. But our main antagonist, M.O.D.O.K, keeps pushing her down and saying negative things about how he treats Inhumans and the entire world as well. But what I absolutely love with main strong female heroines in any story is that she never gives up on serving the good of the universe and preserves all of her might and agility to defeat M.O.D.O.K and save the world and her friends. Again, it may seem a bit cliche and predictable to you guys, but to me, I feel like they did their best to work around that cliche and made it creative and somewhat special to this particular story. So to that I say, kudos to Crystal Dynamics, the studio that brought you the Kingdom Hearts games, Square Enix, and, of course, Marvel Entertainment themselves, for coming up with a creative and epic conceptual spin on the whole good versus evil story. Keep that up! Now, yeah, you can make the argument that the game's graphics and in-game cinematography doesn't look all the way finished, and I can totally see where you're coming from. But I bet that once they remaster this on both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, it will look 1,000 times better. I guarantee you. But still, as it stands now, to me, the graphics are not too bad. I mean, come on, it could have been a lot worse. But the gameplay controls, that's what gets me engaged when it comes to the game's kick-butt action sequences. Both of those elements are very well handled. I mean, at first, it was a bit difficult to handle, but once I figured out the controls, which for example, I love that on the PS4, the triangle button is the auto counterattack, which makes it a heck of a lot easier to deal with bad guys. But regardless, once you get the hang of it, you'll become a master true believer in no time. Awesome job, Crystal Dynamics. Keep up the great work. Overall, guys, in the end, I thought this new Avengers game was excellent. It had the right amount of heart, action-packed moments, the humor, the intensity, and the epicness that this game was meant to be. Again, purists and naysayers out there, say all you want about this game, but I had a great time from start to finish. And as a result, I rate Marvel's Avengers 2020 a solid 5 out of 5 stars. Boy, I can sense some hardcore haters rolling in right now. But who cares, right? So, Marvel's Avengers 2020. Have you played it? If you have, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Was it fun? Was it boring? Answers down below, please. Also, if you like this video and you want to see some more, make sure that like button shines in your face. That'll totally help me out a ton. Also, share that video with your family and friends and favorite it. That's a very good way to show support for this review. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell right next to you so you can be notified of future videos that I have in store for you. Also, if you want a shout out in a future video, just follow me on both Instagram and Twitter and I will choose one of my Cinedroids to be displayed as a shout out. The link's in the description below. But until then, I'll see you next time. Peace out.